workshop on conversation with Mr. Gaurav Sharma. I'm Shevi Sinha and I will be your host and facilitator for today's event. I'm honored to have you all join us today for this interactive workshop where we will be exploring open source, cloud, and coding in depth. This workshop is designed to provide an opportunity to acquire new skills and knowledge. I would now like to introduce our guest speaker for today, Mr. Gaurav Sharma, who is currently working with Amazon as Technical Account Manager and has also worked with Red Hat and EMEA. He has 5 years of experience as learning and development instructor, examiner, and now as TAM with Amazon. With over 150 talks delivered in 11 plus countries, we are grateful to have you here with us today, sir, to share your expertise.
Thank you.
It will be a curative work. Okay. It will be
Sure,
a
sure, sure.
curative workshop. It will be a curative workshop on industry trends, interviews, and resume building. This workshop will include his career journey and roadmaps for first, second, third, and fourth year students. He will also discuss why you fail to impress anyone while having a conversation, and also getting started with open source, cloud, and coding, as I said earlier. It will be an open discussion so that you can ask any career oriented questions. Before we get started, please make sure that you have a stable internet connection for a better experience of this workshop. Now, without a further ado, let's start. I would like to ask Mr. Gaurav Sharma to tell us about his journey from college to Amazon.
Awesome. So that's take me to my old days. Not that much old though, Shavi. So before I jump onto that part, first of all, literally thanks to UPES-CSI students and everyone who is gonna watch this video to consider me that I can be a person to whom I can we can seek the knowledge from or some gain some experience means I heard somewhere and that was my thing that I want to progress in life. So during the college days, everybody watched some motivational videos, right? Everybody does that. Not I'm not the only one who does that. So I was hearing this thing and that actually hit me like anything. And that was something where Rahul Dravid was invited to bits, and in the very first line he mentioned that when he came to bits, he was told that to get admission in bits Pilani, it is 70% in PCM or a little higher, whatever it is there. And he simply thanked everyone that you don't put this criteria for your teachers or for your guests. And I personally felt the same because I was the one, because in 12th standard you would say that I am not even completed 60%. So I was 59.8. So the trauma started right from there, that the day I entered my college, I was instructed that you won't be able to sit in any pool campus drive. You won't be able to sit in any company because they would be requiring a 60% in 10th, 12th, and throughout this college journey. So that made me inspired that if he can do, I can also do. But the thing was, I need to find a path because he was somewhere else and then he came to do the things. So I decided what I can do. So right from the first year, I decided that I don't want to stop here. So just for the information, I studied my BTech in CSC from Government College of Engineering and Technology, Bikaner in Rajasthan. And right from the day one, I was a duffer of the duffer student. मतलब below average को आप consider मेरे से अच्छा कर सकते हो. So I was that bad. Backlogs in right from the semester 1, semester 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 semester. I still remember was the first semester where I saw pass in my the results for the first time in college. And that was something a heartbreaker to me, that fourth year is here and I have some backlogs. I cleared all the backlogs in fourth year, luckily got out. But as usual, no placement at all. But there I decided one thing, that I don't want to stop here. And one chord that I have still believed that self belief and hard work will always earn you the success. That was something I always believed, that if I'm doing a hard work and I have a self belief on myself, success will come. And as an aspiring student, I also thought of like working at Google, Amazon, or Microsoft, or any tech giant for that matter. I never restricted myself that, hey, I want to work only at Amazon. What I want to do was, I want to earn good money so that I can fulfill my learnings, my demands, or my passion. So I started taking small progressive step each day. Means for like I graduated in 2016. Right after the
Okay.
college, every single day I was learning something new and implementing it in my real life. Like, for very small example, people start learning coding and they don't know what to do after it. They just simply start solving these star patterns. And I was always questioned that, is the star problems that you are trying to solve in the college, is it going to help me in getting a job in the real world? And if I get a job, will I be doing the same coding? Answer was absolutely no. So then I thought of like what I should do that can create an impact. I started learning open source. I went into the learning of Linux. I got in touch with the Red Hat part. And I felt that there are many students out there who don't know why they are doing this thing. And I took it as a motto that I want to share my learnings in a way that nobody has ever done. And that was the time I started teaching. So for 2000, for 1 year, I actually interned, sort of an intern at like you can say, at a training institute, and then for 1 year of polish with interacting more than thousands of students. Then I stepped into my corporate life. Luckily, got a chance to work with Red Hat as a learning and development instructor. They're actually in India. What I can say is, you name the company, and I have delivered the lectures there, or lectures in the way, the trainings over there. So I have, like, when I started getting that like joy of teaching the people who are still in the industry from 5 to 6 years, or even sometime there was a person who was sitting in my workshop with 20 years of experience, and there I felt, oh wow, they are also a kid, they don't know what I know, so I have to be very much diligent that how I can transfer my knowledge. So there I worked for 4.5 years, took different roles altogether. And after 5 years I felt that, now it's a time I want to see the bigger picture of mine and what it can be. And I started searching the job outside Red Hat. Luckily, this was my first interview at Amazon. Totally clueless that how it went. I just want the job and I went through it. And here I am enjoying my 1 year at Amazon, and it's still the day one. So this is something that I always believe, that every single day a little progress will always gonna help you to achieve great success in your life. So, as rightly, many people must have said, and I don't know, remember who has said this thing: a winner is just a loser who had tried one more time. So, if you are also the one who is not yet tasting that success, try one more time. Might success is just waiting for you. So, that's how I started, and right now I'm enjoying the work.
That was indeed really inspirational, sir. Next, I would like to ask this question. This is a very common question between the first and the second years.
Hmm.
Um, if coding is really important, like, is coding really important in the industry?
So before I ask, is coding really interested? I want to ask whosoever has this question in their mind, why you are doing coding, why you want to do the coding. The very simple answer. One of my workshop, I went to this college in Chennai, and one student like raised his hand, and I asked that why you want to do the coding, and he said, I want to earn money, and only way to earn the money is by doing the coding. I'm like, okay. Now that was something, a myth every single student have. So what happens, Shavi and everyone, when you enter a college, you saw a very big billboard which has a lot of students success stories out there, right? Everyone have must have seen, because as soon as you enter that reception or the admin block, you would have noticed a board with a couple of pictures and name written to it, and after that name there will be a brand name like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and their packages. Now
Right.
you start visualizing yourself to that board,
True.
right? And
True.
you think, if to get to Amazon, there is only one way, that is the software development engineer role, and that's how I'm going to crack it. And you start pursuing the coding. You don't know basics yet. You are there for the very first year, and how you decided your career for next 4 years and then your entire life. So
Right.
the very first thing is, do you really want it? The answer should be no, because at this point of time where you are standing in that reception room, you need to visualize yourself on that board, irrespective of that profile, or for that matter, why it is important to be on that board. If you are earning well, you are satisfying your family, you are satisfying your needs, who cares? Enjoy your life. As simple as that, right? So
Right.
my first ask always is, why you want to do the coding. Now coming to the second part, is coding really necessary? Absolutely no. There are many jobs outside there who don't require coding. Like for example, one of the thing is testing. You can be a good tester profile, just be on that part. Developer advocacy is so good nowadays, where you are a promoter of any project. You can be a student developer advocate, where you are helping others to learn the things in a right way. You can be an ambassador, video editing, freelancing, search engine optimizers. There are many, like n number of fields. And with the trends, if I'll say, now every single is things are based on AI. So you
Right.
are anyways gonna get the code ready. Then why you have to invest your skill sets in doing that? I'm not saying that it is not necessary. Learn the basics, and if you think that okay, this is something I enjoy doing it, this is something I can do for hours and hours, then pursue it. So
Okay.
getting a job, I personally know few friends of mine who are earning even more higher than me just by doing the video editing.
Yeah.
So one of my, yeah, colleague was there in fourth year. He's dropped out in eighth semester. He dropped the college. He went to Pune, joining a like video editing company. He interned for 2 years, and now he is everywhere. And I'm like, man, what the thing you are creating? He said, man, this is something crazy. If I'll show you the binaries, you would be like, oh my god, this is crazy. This is something I want to see and learn. So embrace that change, that, like, the society and everybody is showing to you. Don't just limitize yourself to some companies, some brand names, or to the that board, and start learning the things. Learning is never done without errors. You have to commit some errors, and then you have to learn it. So if your question, if I have to answer that, is coding is the only? No. Data scientist is there, data engineer is there, manager roles are there, marketing roles are there. Anyways, many students at BTech also aspire to be an MBA, where they want to jump into the account management, marketing, sales manager, partner success managers, technical account managers, solution architect, many roles out there. And they are giving you way more higher salary. But the only thing is, people don't know about it. Even if you ask me, that at the time of my joining at Amazon, many students called me up who follows me or who are in touch with me. Sir, what is this technical account manager? If I'll tell you what is the role behind it, you would say, I want to be that person. It is that much powerful role. You are single-handedly like handling one customer on behalf of Amazon, and you have every single liberty to meet CEOs, CTOs, CIOs. You don't interact with these developers and engineers. So you have that authority, and who doesn't need the authority? When you are sitting in a 4 by 4 cubicle, you don't know what is happening in background. You will be just given a small amount of your work, and you are tada bye bye. So explore the fields first, and then decide that you really are in love with coding, or you are just focusing on that billboard to start coding. Rest, please do coding. I was not doing, but you should do it. So yeah.
Sure. So that's helped our students to get a clearer view on it. So now again we have the most recent topic, that is which all streams can the students take up, and I think would help them to get a good package.
Okay. So, if you ask me, to be honest, at this point of time where I can see the job trends very with the very ups and downs, couple of field that I just want to comment would be, data scientist, data engineers, DevOps profile, student like this developer community heads, or you can say what I should call it, the developer advocacy, those things, and even this exploring what I could this one name I'm forgetting, the solution architects. These fields are nowadays getting trends. The Linux admins, system admins, system engineers, they all are interrelatable. But these are getting too much hikes because major thing was till 2 to 3 years past, like you can say consider 2020, people were not accepting students as a like starting a field of these like typical terms like solution architect, technical account manager. But now they are opening up. So in upcoming 2 to 3 years, when we will see that AI ML will be on the maximum trend, there will be people required who knows how to manage the things. The management roles will be very high on demands. Or else, where you have the system administration skills, coders are always there. They will be always in bulk. But the people who will be standing out will be coming from data scientists, system admins, system engineer, DevOps scientist, or research fellows, and all these fields also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a term, developer advocacy. So if you can
Mhm.
elaborate on that.
Yeah. So developer advocacy is the like Shavi, one of the most important thing when I started talking about it and I started learning about it. So thing is, you as a student will be able to learn some basics that are defined in college. One.
Right.
Second, when companies start working on a project, they have their own like demands or criteria to judge a student. Now this developer advocate or student developer advocate stands in between, where they will help these students to understand that what my project is, and companies that what exactly students are learning, please take their test on this behalf. So this basically behave as a bridge according to me, where student can learn about what exactly happening in the industry. So for example, let's say there is a startup, and this startup is working on some AIML projects. Now, these projects will be focused on one stream, not the entire AIML. They will be picking up a small component of it and they will start working. Now, they will hire a person like me who suppose, let's say, I'm a student developer advocate. They will hire me and they will tell me that, hey, we need 10 interns who will be having these skill sets. I'll go to colleges and colleges and colleges or organize an open forum where I'll ask that, hey, anyone who knows about these things, reach out to me. And then they will start filtering that, okay, these are the things that are requesting in the market. I will go back to my company that, hey, say, I'm able to find these 7 skills. These 3 are not at all there or are very few people who knows it. So let's mark these 7 as an essential, 3 as a bonus, and all the students that, hey, these 10 are the maximum things that you should be learning and then going ahead. So student advocacy will always help you to take one step ahead and be the industry ready people. So that's what the thing is. Yeah. And they will be the promoter for any company. So even if you see anywhere, so this is where the developer advocacy stays. And every single tech giants also do have the developer advocacy, or you can say student developer advocate program also. Like recently, I can tell you one of the best example that I just reminded. About 2 days back, we have launched AWS student cloud clubs. So the students from colleges and university aging from 18 to 28 years, they will be highly focused on this, and they will be learning how to get started with cloud. So this program entirely is led by the student developer program advocate, who is going to take the lead. They will understand what is the college curriculum are, what students already know, how we have to teach them, designing, implementation, everything. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So moving on to the next question. What should we ask for students for all the years, like first, second, third, and fourth? Respect.
The toughest question now you have brought to me. Okay. So रोड मैप यार ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं होता. मतलब what I personally think, if I have to like just break highlights for the first year students, I always say is there is only one rule: build your fundamentals and explore. Means for an example, there is a, like, let's say this workshop is there for first year student. Trust me, these workshop, these like sessions, should attend it, irrespective you are getting bored or irrespective whatever you are not able to get it. Thing is, here you will be able to expose to what to do and what not to do. Participate in any damn workshop that is happening around. Go to as much as people you can. First, second, third, fourth year seniors, you go and explore yourself. Means the students, trust me, who all are listening, first year is all about networking according to me. Second, build the fundamentals right. Like in the first year, if you start learning about the coding or whatever stream you want to learn, your fundamentals will be established only in first year. So, for example, if you are learning a DSA, don't learn it with the purpose that, hey, I want to get a SDE role. अगर मैं आज कोडिंग नहीं पढ़ूंगा तो मुझे 4 साल बाद में एसडी का जॉब मिलेगा ही नहीं. You don't know the God's plan. There might be some very good plans that are already lined up for you, and you are restricting yourself. So first year, build your fundamentals, and second, explore. That means networking. Meet the people, learn from them, and everything, whatever you can do. Now, jumping on to the second year. Now, in second year, I would say start working on one specific topic. When I say one specific topic, it can be C, your C, C++, Python, Linux, open source, whatever you want to do. Build your first specific, or you can say a special skill sets that you're going to sustain for 4 years or even after that. So if you ask me, I also started learning Linux in 2013 and cloud also simultaneously. So since 2012 or 13, I am into completely cloud, Linux, and everything out there. So what happens is, in second, third, and fourth year, you will be exposed to n number of opportunities where you can actually, what I can say, you can polish your skill sets. So that is more important. So in second year, build one special skill sets. Second is start working on your resume. Now, there will be more people who will be raising their eyebrows that, in second year, should we start building your resume? Definitely, you should start building your resume in second year only. Fourth year is too late, because fourth year तक आते आते हम कंट्रोल भी करना सीख जाते हैं और कुछ नहीं होता है. So second year से अगर आप डालते हो ना, what happens is you have n number of projects to select in fourth year when you have the final placements, or nowadays it is in the third year end. So thing is, if you start early, you have options. If you start late, you will be like just focusing on the things that others are doing. So you lose that unique ability. So for first year, I would again repeat that network and build your fundamental. Second year, start building your resume. And second point is build your one special skill sets. It can be anything. Learn C. So make your higher profiles in C. If you're learning Java, start building your projects in Java. If you're learning Python, make your contributions to the Python, everything. When it comes to third year, Now start educating your second year or first year friends, means your juniors, and try to grab one live opportunity, means the internship. Don't focus on internship till second year. Your college is giving you a numerous opportunities to learn. In third year, you should have at least one internship. Now, everybody is not fortunate to get the internship, so start participating in second or third year in hackathons. Start winning these hackathons. Start building your projects, because these hackathons will give you some real world projects, or what I should say, problem statements to be solved. So you have that competitive approach. Now, why I'm saying that hackathons or these internships are important: if you are getting an internship, you are already getting exposed to the company culture. If you are getting a hackathon, you are exposed to the competitive culture, so that sometime you win, sometime you lose. So when you have that like interview for your final like placements or getting the internship, you will be like still acceptable, that even if I get fail, I know I have the opportunities. Now it comes to fourth year. Fourth year, you should have two to three variety of resume available with you. One, because that is the most important thing what I can see. Second, in fourth year, even if you haven't get a job, don't dare to change your skill sets. What happens? I have interacted many students, and many of them has just said that I changed my field because I was not able to get the job. So now this skill set that you have learned should be on the peak. Ask your friends, ask your juniors and seniors that, hey, is there something I'm doing wrong? Now you have that strength, because you have worked for 2 years. You can easily tweak a little change and it will create a massive impact. So when you are applying for a job, make sure that your resume has all these educate projects. They have right statements, they have right like demand what the job is requesting for. Also, if you are not having a job, start fighting for that job or start searching for the jobs to the max. If still not, try for the internship. Don't get disheartened that, hey, I was not able to get a job at Amazon, Google, now my life is entirely waste. No, there are a lot of companies who can give you value way more than that. Also, for fourth year students, I would say, even if the job or internship, if still it is not there, it's your time to focus and give another chance to you for 6 months. Take 6 months and understand that what industry demands. Now you already know the basics, you have a good skill set on one technology. Start exploring other fields also, but don't take it as a burden that what I'm gonna get after this, or what society is going to say. Trust me, your society anyway is gonna say anything, whether you achieve it or whether you are not achieving it. They will say it because it's their job. Your job is to be happy and focus on yourself. So I would say, in these 4 years, these are the very generic thing that you all should be doing. One thing is, never stop learning. Never ever stop learning. Means, I have always believed in a, like, one of the very important saying that, strive for progress, not perfection. Because there will be somebody else who will be better than you. Always there will be somebody best who is better than you. So try to make progress every single day. If, like, very small example, I always say is that in second year you all should be knowing Git. If you know Git, every single day you need to make one commit to your project, whether it is a small change. But what impact is going to happen is, for 3 years continuously you were using Git every single day. All those green checkbox
Mhm.
will make you understand. Also, one point I missed: for a third year student, take a break.
Okay.
And that is very much important. Taking breaks at regular interval is important. And in third year, It is very much important because in fourth year you will be having all your placements, your interviews, and everything going on. Take a break and please don't do your technical stuff. Be with your family, be with your friend, go to Goa or wherever you want to, but take a break from your regular college life. Stop doing about the college things. Just focus on yourself. Work on your soft skills. Improve on that. So that would be my take, Shavi. I hope it helped.
Yeah, that was really inspirational. Very, very wide and clear view on that.
Means I'm
Um,
sorry
okay.
to all. Like, sorry to interrupt. Means I'm really sorry that I don't want to talk about coding or like just roadmap. First year में DSA पढ़ो, second year में ये पढ़ो. सब अपने पेस पे चलते हैं. Everybody have their own pace. I don't. I literally, even when I till date, when I am taking all these interviews, even of IITians, I don't open up a resume. I just simply ask them that tell me about your project.
Right.
Like, I don't want to see your hacker earth or like code chef ranking. I don't want it. मेरे को उस 5 स्टार से मेरे प्रोजेक्ट में थोड़ा ना 5 स्टार मिलेंगे यार. I need your problem solving skill sets. I want to hear your view on it. I want to hear that whether you were able to solve any real life problem or not. So I always say this thing to everyone. Please focus on your personal goals. Please focus on your personal strength. Nobody's going to help you in the interviews when it comes to, like, like when sitting in front of you someone, and he will be or she will be always best from you. So you have to choose your words wisely. So all these experiences is going to tell you. Everybody can learn the things that are being taught in college. We, sorry, we all are engineers, we all are excellent. You just need to stand out of the crowd, and all these skill sets will gonna definitely gonna help you to stand out. Yeah.
Uh, so
Yeah.
on that, I would like to know the what is the worth of hackathon? As you mentioned hackathon earlier, participating in hackathon. So what is the worth of it? And even if a person is not winning it, even participating in hackathons, how will it impact their resume or maybe the interviews they head on to?
Definitely. The very foremost benefit that anyone gets at a hackathon is the network. Because you can see in a hackathon, there is no discrimination of first, second, third, fourth branch, anything. You have exposure to like hundreds of people. Trust me, after 5 years, if you examine and if you have built even 10 connects, you will be having an access to 10 different companies altogether for sure. So the last question where I was saying that even if you're not getting an internship or a like company placement at the college, if you have participated in hackathon, these connections can easily help you to get those things very quickly. Second, you will be exposed to the real world problem statements, that what is happening around. Meaning in the college, you have a standardized procedure to learn the basics. But company are solving some challenges. Now, these challenges in a form of hackathon problem statement, we generally pass it on to all the students. So that where you can get it. Now, third one is the competitive approach. So I personally always have believed in one thing, that these hackathons will always give you that competition like environment where you break down, your team lifts up, you even will be not always winning. You will be tasting those success or even the failures at no cost. मतलब ये थोड़ा ना होगा ना कि हैकेथॉन में मैं जाके हार गया तो मेरे करोड़ों डूब गए. So that's the importance of hackathon. And also, one point that nobody notices, at hackathon there will be always judges. You already have exposure to the top tier people. Go and utilize it. Who is stopping you? So that might take.
Okay. Now, some of our fellow audience is not familiar with the term open source, especially the first years. So, can you enlighten us on the same thing?
Okay, so let me ask you, according to you, what is open source? Whatever when you hear this word open source, what it is?
Well, when I hear open source, I feel like it's a free platform where you can go and maybe manipulate data or receive some data.
Mhm. Awesome. So let me ask you in this way. You know what you said, all these words, free platform, data, and everything. This is from a perspective of an engineer or a person who is aspiring to be an engineer or whatever you may call it. If I'll ask you, tell the definition of open source to your grandparent now.
Probably, it's something that is like you don't have to pay for it. It's something that you don't have to pay for it and you can access it completely.
You can access it, you can own it, and whatever you want to do it, you can do it with it.
Right.
That exactly is open source. For very small example, I'm just drinking water. Actually, it is nothing but water. It is a hot tea, a green tea which my wife just prepared. Now, the beautiful part is the main core ingredient of any substantial thing is water. Let's take an example. Water is
Right.
freely available. Yes?
Yes.
No. Bisleri, you have to pay it.
Basically, we have to pay for right.
The beauty is water is freely available, water is chargeably available. So let's take an example of free with the enlightenment of open source. Now, this water is freely available. What happens if I'll add sugar to this water?
It will be sweet. It will be sweetened water.
Sweet. At the same time, if I'll add some ice cube to it,
I think it will be iced what
it
like
will be cold,
cold water.
sweet water.
It will get cold. Yeah.
Yes, and let's add some couple of this tea and a mint to it.
Right.
What is going to happen? It will be an iced tea,
Yes.
right? Now you can ask for a price,
Right.
and you also have a choice. You can serve it for free. This is what
Okay.
exactly open source is. Open source thing is, it is not freely available. It is never ever said anywhere that open source is free. Open source free means freedom to use.
Okay.
This free is actually freedom. यार पानी को आकर के मतलब सोचो शिव जी आके थोड़ा ना कह देंगे कि मेरी जटाओं से निकला था, इसमें मेरा प्रोप्राइटरी हक है.
Right.
बट शिव जी चाहे तो वो क्लेम कर सकते हैं क्योंकि निकल रहा है उनके पास प्रूफ है अपना. Right? So that's where open source is. Some softwares are proprietary solutions, some software are freely available. Then it gives you a freedom. शिव जी ने निकाल दिया पानी. Now it gives the freedom to all of us कि भाई तुम्हें अगर चाहे आइस टी बनानी है, चाहे तुम्हें इसमें दूध मिलाना है, चाहे तुम्हें इसमें कुछ भी करना है, मैं इतना वर्सेटाइल हूं. Whatever you mix it, I'll blend in that. That's what happening in the open source world. You can just change the logo, put your own logo, and you can utilize it for like just by paying. Simply, let's take an example of Bisleri, Aquafina, or Evans. All three are mineral waters. All three are packaged drinking waters. They all are charging. Main ingredient is H2O, which is water. They start mixing their like proportions of minerals, vitamins, whatever things, and they charge you.
Right.
Even I don't know how many of you know this or not. Glacier water is the purest form of water that is freely available. जाके लाने की तुम्हारे अंदर हिम्मत होनी चाहिए. So
Right.
if you want to make a proprietary solution out of an open source world, you need to dig the basics. Source code is available free of cost. You have the freedom to change it and utilize it. That's what open source is.
Okay.
I
Okay.
guess that's easy. explanation that I
Oh,
can.
yeah, that was very simply explained. It's like clear. Okay, so there's a follow-up question I have on that. Is like
Sorry
how,
to interrupt.
yeah,
Sorry to interrupt. One point we missed.
okay,
When it comes to open source, security is the most important concern,
okay,
right? Thing is, open source is never ever said they are secured. It's subject to availability. नदी में पानी बह रहा है, तुमने पिया, तुम्हारी तबीयत खराब हुई, तुम्हारी रिस्क पे है, तुम जाके किसी भगवान को क्लेम नहीं ठोक सकते.
okay,
Similar way, when you are open source project, you are utilizing, it's your responsibility to make it secure so that end user is getting secure in terms of their data or whatever. So you have all those terms and condition. So sorry, but I just thought came in my mind. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So my follow-up question was that ki, how can we get started with it? How can we get started with open source?
So this is very easy. Means like, even if you don't know coding, there are always these open source projects that you can find on the this opensource.com. There is like getmestart.com, or many websites are there. You just type open source project and people will be finding out there. You can clone those projects, start building on your own. You can contribute to the existing project, but for that you need to learn some skill sets. Third, you can start doing testing or research for them.
Okay,
Means I have created a project, I need to know customer view also, right?
right,
So there are websites like issuehub.io where there are a lot of open source projects, and they have opened this issues for students and for individuals to test. So you can go and test them. There is this thing called issues.hub.io, and first my first issues, something like that, if I'm not wrong. Let me just search for you a good first issues.dev.
okay,
So these are the starting blocks where the project is ready. They have purposely created some issues for you. Go and solve it. Then even if I don't know coding, I'm not interested in doing the testing part also. You can be an advocate for that project. You can start promoting it. You can help acquiring the projects the right skill set mind across the verticals. So that is also the way. Now, the easiest part to get start is I always suggest students start working on these issues. Like this, one thing is good first issues.dev. There are many GitHub repository which has these tags called good first issue. So search for it, start working on it, start doing the testing, and then you eventually you start like cloning that project, make the changes, submit your change. Very famous programs like Hack October, Google Summer of Code, Google Season of Docs,
right,
all are there. Even like these are typical coding parts. You can get started like I started with the Fedora community like a tester, Debian community like a tester. There are a lot of hackathons where you can get exposed to these open source project. So that's how you can easily get started.
okay. So moving on to the next question. We would like to ask you about what is cloud and what is cloud computing.
Okay, wonderful. So let me again try to ask you, what do you think? What is a cloud?
As an engineer, I would say cloud is somewhere where we can store our data,
Okay.
somewhere where we can like transfer the if something is stored in cloud, I can just transfer that data from one place to another.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think
So
I think that is
no,
cloud.
that is absolutely fine. And not as an engineer.
Cloud,
हाँ,
uh,
सही बात बोल रहे हो.
cloud.
That's why, that's why this question always asked, what is cloud? What is cloud computing? हम लोग इंजीनियर्स इतना देखो घुस चुके हैं ना कि अगर आप किसी को भी पूछोगे ना व्हाट इज क्लाउड, दे विल एग्जैक्टली टेल यू द डेफिनेशन यू टोल्ड मी. समवेयर एक्सेसिंग द डेटा फ्रॉम रिमोट, दैट इज व्हाट द क्लाउड इज. अरे क्लाउड एक बादल है जो बचपन से तुम देखते आ रहे हो, वो वही है, आज भी चेंज नहीं हुआ है. कोई शेप डिफाइंड नहीं है, कुछ क्वांटिटी डिफाइंड नहीं है, कहां पर है, कैसा है, कुछ नहीं पता है. That is exactly the cloud which you see on the sky. There is no color defined to it. There is nothing defined to it. Do you have a claim that clouds are white?
No.
How I can prove it? Definitely you cannot. और अगर वो white है तो रात को फिर white दिखने चाहिए, ब्लैक क्यों दिख रहे हैं? और वो कभी कभी लाइट में ब्लैक भी हो जाते हैं। फिर उसमें कहते हैं लोग मिट्टी है, तो मिट्टी तो नीचे मेरे को सैंड दिखती है गोल्ड कलर की। गोल्ड ऊपर से आकर के ब्लैक कैसे हो रही है? कोई फिल्टर थोड़ा ना लगा हुआ है। So as simple as that, cloud is that. Now, if I add a term, what is cloud computing? It is exactly the same. If I take the concept of cloud and put it with computing, so according to you, what is computing? So when I say a simple word, technical term, what is, let's say, not even computing, what is a computer? So you or me and interacting with this laptop or a desktop, whatever we can say. You need an OS, you need some storage capacity, you need some processors, you need input and output device like keyboard, mouse, and these screens, right? These all
Right.
things, speakers and every single thing. In nutshell, it is an infra that is assembled together to do some work, and that what we call as in computing in a very simple language. Similar way, if I assemble all these parts irrespective of your need, that is what your cloud computing is, and give you the flexibility to choose what you want. Like if you go to a shop and ask for a laptop, you have a specified like configuration uh, you can choose. In cloud, you have a flexibility to choose whatever you want to. Even if you want to create a hard disk of 73.9 GB, you have the flexibility to choose it for 73.9 GB, right? So that's what it is. You just need an input and output device in front of you. Rest all these internal components can be import. क्योंकि अब मेरे पास कोई शक्ति तो नहीं है ना कि मैं ऐसे इमेज बना लूंगा हवा में. I don't have that thing. So I need an input and output, some assembly at my physical space. Rest everything can be imported. Like अब आपके पास लैपटॉप है, इसमें आपको मैं बोलूं खाली ओएस निकाल के दे दो,
Okay.
क्या बात बोल रहा है? ओएस कैसे निकाल के दे दो? Not practically possible. मैं कहता हूँ आपके पास you have this 500 GB SSD hard disk. Can you just cut 200 GB and give it to me? सर क्या मजाक कर रहे हो? But in Google, like in this Google, Microsoft, Amazon, you can do it. These clouds, you can do it. You want 200 GB? अभी भेजता हूँ. Just a command and do it. Done. So that's what the cloud computing is. Assembling all these components and make it work. Like if you see around yourself, this room you're sitting in, what is this infrastructure? These walls are there, then bricks because of which walls are standing, the floor, the tiles, then you have your bed, table, chair, you have all these paintings, and that's where this infra, when we assemble it, it is called as a room. Similar way, for computing, you need some infrastructure as a service. Now, this whole infra, when we import from outside, it is called infrastructure as a service, and that's what your cloud computing is.
Okay.
As simple. मतलब रूम को रूम के लाने के लिए वॉल, आपको टेबल, चेयर, कलर, लाइट, फैन सब चाहिए. कंप्यूटर चलाने के लिए आपको ओएस, स्टोरेज स्पेस, इनपुट आउटपुट डिवाइसेस चाहिए. घर बनाने के लिए आपको एक लैंड तो चाहिए ना जो आपकी हो, उसके ऊपर आप ये सब इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डाल सकते हो. सिमिलर वे क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग को एक्सेस करने के लिए आपको बेसिक इनपुट एंड आउटपुट यूनिट तो चाहिए बस.
That was simply explained. What next question? What according to you are the like jobs available in 2022 and 2023? Like comparing 2022 and 2023.
So I guess the most heartbreaking year was 2022 for everyone in the IT. There are like crazy layoffs that happened, but I personally take it as a like again to my roots that if you have worked hard in like in your second, third year of college, you should not be worried about that. because there was some saturation because of this COVID. Everybody was like at their home, and there were a lot of plenty of jobs that came out because expenses were controlled in company. Now, as soon as you are back into the offices and everyone started meeting each other, those expenses which were controlled now again came into the picture and firing started. So the thing was, this is a practical example that you should not consume more than what it is required. लाइक कभी कभी हम ज्यादा खा लेते हैं तो फिर हमें वॉमिटिंग होती है ना.
Hmm.
तो वही सेम सिचुएशन हुआ है. So when I compare the job from 2022, 2023 will be even big bounce back opportunity. You have to be calm. Also, this time the traditional jobs will come back. When I say traditional jobs, if you are regularly hearing and digging deep into the market, definitely the trend of AI, ML, and all things are on a high, all time high. But from where I'm standing, sorry, from where I'm seeing, again, the traditional jobs where a typical coder will come and acquire it will be required.
Okay.
क्योंकि आपने AI ML कुछ नहीं है, एक डेटा का ट्रेंड है जो आपने पढ़ लिया, सीख लिया, और ये आपने एक मशीन को सिखा दिया. बट टू ऑपरेट दैट मशीन you require some person, and that is what's going to happen in 2023. Now people will start realizing back again the importance of like students over like I can say individuals over machines, because now people are helpless. People have get laid off, and I literally pray to God that whosoever has lost their job, they get it back ASAP, because there are a lot of factors that are involved in supporting the family or individual. So those things are there. But yes, and specifically criterion, like if you have to ask me a criteria, definitely the coding jobs will be on all-time high demand towards the end of 2023. Second, the job roles like data scientist or the data engineers or the research fellows will be getting like generated with a huge demand, because everything which is happening right now is also a data, and it is
Right.
a unorganized data. So people with having the database knowledge, the interest in DSA and these data field will be definitely getting a bomb package for sure in towards the end of 2023. And these advocacy programs will be getting more and more activate towards the end. Now it is on stable field. In 2022 you would agree that there was a saturation that has come in. Even the startups are not offering the huge jobs, they are not getting funding. But again, when the market will open, they start getting it, and they will be needing these promoters, or I would say success managers. So this will be the all time high things.
Okay. At last, I really would say this, but at last, I would like to ask you about some resume building tips, like some pro tips from you.
Sure. So pro tip, मतलब इतना है. First of all, break the habit of control C control V. It's your resume. Like you are the owner of that. Don't give ownership to somebody else's hand. You need to create your own. Second, start mentioning numbers. And when I say start mentioning numbers, I'll easy it for you. Let's say you created a project with a team of 4 people.
Right.
How much time it took for you, how many people were involved, what was your job, and when you completed, what was the result you achieved it. The learning part I'll ask from you for sure. If I'm an interview and if I'll see this breakup or unit economics of that project, I'll ask you what was your learning from it. So that's the most important thing. One. Second, don't mention these hobbies, or like I certify that this is my resume. हाँ मुझे पता है भाई तू नहीं किया है. Don't mention these things. Unnecessarily occupying these spaces. Don't try to copy a project and paste it in your resume. That is a very ordinary tip, but this is a fundamental thing. You have not created project, don't mention it. Try to bring something or the other. Also, if you are applying to three different companies, the job description always have some words that are again and again repeated, or
Yeah.
else they will be showing the vision or mission of the company. Try to grab those words and incubate in these resume, or at least in your project. For example, you are applying for a Python developer. You created a project that has Python. Now thing is, you need to play smart, that 3 to 4 times you mention Python, Python, Python in your project or in your description
Mhm.
of that project. What is going to happen is, when I see, and when I'm coming as a hiring for a Python developer, I would easily say, oh, यहाँ भी पाइथन है, अच्छा इधर पॉइंट पे भी पाइथन लिखा हुआ है, अच्छा तीनों के तीनों प्रोजेक्ट पाइथन पे हैं. That's where. Then give an advantage. Like in Python, if you know about Python frameworks, mention it. So that is your additive advantage. So जब मैंने भी Amazon के लिए अप्लाई करना शुरू किया था, I started searching for the job description keywords. Oh, this is matching my skill sets. What is an added advantage to it? वो सेक्शन हमेशा होता है. मैंने उस सेक्शन के कुछ कीवर्ड्स अपने रेज्यूम में इंक्यूबेट किए.
Okay.
What is the responsibility? वो मेरी स्किल सेट्स में मैंने लिख दी. So what happened is, when somebody asked, "Oh, you are applying for a TAM role. We have this responsibility." Huh? It is in the skill sets. Okay. What is the job requirement? Oh, this has done the project with the matching job requirement. So what will be the added advantage? Oh, he knows these skill sets. Done. So all the basic criteria are met. Now, how you are going to be good, better, best? These numbers. So if you were like a group of two people and you individually handled or created this part, now this will show me that you are open to expose that, okay, this was the project created by four people and this is my individual role. So you have clarity of thoughts. So what people lack in it, that during the college days, they create a project in group and they own that project. कंपनी में भी तुम बिट्स एंड बाइट्स पे काम करोगे, यू कैन नॉट क्लेम Amazon is mine. I have one customer who I'm taking the ownership of. I cannot go and say that 500 कस्टमर फॉर्च्यून लिस्ट के Amazon के साथ काम करते हैं और मैं पांचों का मतलब ऑनर हूं. It's not practically possible. So you have to be clear in your thought and vision that what you are saying to someone, and this clarity should also come in resume. Second, one more important tip is, if you have asked me like for a tip, don't completely mention the URLs. Like for example, in LinkedIn, many a times I receive a resume which mention linkedin.com/in/ some gibberish numbers. Create a customized URL. And that customized URL should not contain your date of birth, should not contain your pet names, very generic rules. Create a professional name. Use your name or mention something which can be relatable. And then convert this URL into a smaller one like bit.ly or whatever from where. Create and incubate it in your resume so that we see an effort, that okay, somebody has put an effort to put it, and that will always stand out. Hey, click on this link to access LinkedIn. That creates, or like utilize less space and communicate what you want to say. Don't use fancy words. I have seen people with crazy fancy words, and trust me, nobody reads it. वो जो एक ऑब्जेक्टिव वाली लाइन होती है ना, उसको इतना फैंसी बना देते हैं. Trust me, if I'm an interviewer, I don't even have an interest to read it. Sometime it not, but majorly they're not reading it. They're reading your projects, they're reading your skill sets, they're reading your learnings, they're reading your certifications, they're reading your past experience. So there you should mention that can create an appeal. And for that, I always say to students, start learning one liners. And when I say one liner, imagine, Shavi, you are in a elevator starting from first ground floor, and it will go up to 13th floor. Luckily or unluckily, whatever you can imagine, Sundar Pichai or Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates, whatever, whomsoever you can think of, he stepped into the same elevator.
Okay.
And you have just 15 seconds, because it will reach to the 15th floor. 15th second, you have to create an impression in front of him or her that they should connect and they should remember who Shavi is.
Right.
For these 10 to 8 words or a liner, like for example, if I have to say, I'm just going to say, hey sir, my name is Gaurav Sharma, or never ever call a sir or ma'am to anyone. Call out with their name. Hey Shavi, my name is Gaurav Sharma. you know I'm a technical account manager at Amazon by profession, and I'm a YouTuber by passion. Done. अब तेरा इंटरेस्ट है तो मुझसे पूछ ले. But these one liners, attractive one liners, can create a lot of impact, and somebody will start hearing out you. Oh, you are a YouTuber. Oh, wow. What do you do at YouTube? You got that icebreaker.
Mm.
So, this one liner, I always mention on my resume also. So, somebody just simply see, oh, by profession, he is this, by passion, he is this. Oh, wonderful. He can manage both the things. Yeah, I'm managing both the things. So that's the importance of these one liners or this objective. Either you write your aspiration that, hey, I want to one day I want to be in a manager role, but that sound very rigid in the resume. So always mention your profession and passion and balance it out. And that's what I can say for resume.
Oh, so there's this one question that I think what I face and what my peers face is, what is the difference? What should we mention in technical skill and tools? Because there are two things that I think everyone mentioned in their resume. These are my technical skills. These are my tools. So there's always confusion between like web development किधर डालना है या फिर maybe DSA किधर डालना है, Python किधर डालना है, and all these things.
Okay. So very easy to understand. So when we say technical skills, right? Now these technical skills are, the specialized knowledge or expertise you have acquired from performing some specific task. So when I say technical skills, you mention the program or the specific tools that you have learned. So personally, if you ask me, I don't mention both the things together. सो स्किल्स जो होती हैं वो हम किसी टूल्स को लर्न करने से अपना आप को बनाते हैं. सो यू शुड नॉट मेंशन दीज टू थिंग्स, क्योंकि स्किल्स एग्जैक्टली कुछ नहीं है. दिस इज समथिंग दैट यू हैव एक्वायर्ड बाय लर्निंग सम टूल्स. सो इफ यू मेंशन, लेट्स से आई नो हाउ टू राइड अ बाइक, तो मैं ये थोड़ा लिखूंगा कि मुझे बाइक चलानी, मतलब ये बाइक मुझे चलानी आती है. डज इट मेक सेंस? आई नो हाउ टू ड्राइव अ कार. नो, आई नो ओनली हाउ टू ड्राइव द कियाज कार. ये क्या बात है? कार तो कार है ना, बेसिक एक्सेलरेटर, ब्रेक, क्लच तो सब में होगा. So similar way, when you are saying that I know technical skills, I know tools, skills कुछ नहीं है, वो सिर्फ उन tools को learn करने से तुम्हारे अंदर develop हुई है. So mention these tool and automatically I'll understand that you know this tool. So for example, if you know Django framework, I already know that you know Python. Why you need to mention the Python? Very simple. अब मुझे पता है कि अगर तुम्हें वेब टेक्नोलॉजीज आती हैं, ओके, वेब टेक्नोलॉजी में क्या होगा?
MySQL, then your CSS,
HTML,
HTML,
CSS, XYZ,
JavaScript.
राइट. तो अगर तुम वेब डेवलपमेंट लिखते हो, तो वेब डेवलपमेंट बहुत बड़ी एक
Hmm.
मतलब एक फ्रेम बनता है वेब टेक्नोलॉजीज का. उसमें तुम्हें कुछ स्पेसिफिक स्किल सेट्स ही आती होंगी, या वो टूल्स आते होंगे कि HTML इज वन ऑफ द टूल टू क्रिएट द वेब टेक्नोलॉजी. तो अब तुम
Right.
अगर ये लिखते हो मुझे HTML CSS आता है, तो आई ऑलरेडी नो दैट यू आर अलाइंड टू वेब टेक्नोलॉजीज. Very simple. So it will be always vice versa. That if you have mentioned tools, don't mention skills. If you mention skills, don't mention tools.
Okay.
Easy.
Yeah. Simple. Okay. So now we'll open up for Q&A sessions. So I would request everyone is free to feel free to ask any doubts, any career oriented questions that you have for sir. Do we have a question? Okay, till then let's start with my question. I do have a question with this. Okay, so as we talked about coding and the industry as well. So, what do you think is the biggest challenge that is being faced by coding industry in near future? That will be faced by the coding industry in near future, and how do you think the field is evolving?
Okay, this is a like, if I'll take you to the roots, when do you think the C language got started?
Probably 60s, 80s.
60s 70s, चलो 70s पकड़ लेते हैं, अप्रॉक्सीमेट 50 ईयर्स हो गए, कुछ चेंज हुआ?
Not really.
हो ही नहीं सकता, क्योंकि वो स्टैंडर्ड बना दिया है। और यही फियर है
Okay.
कि अब सी में क्या आ जाएगा। अरे सी में कुछ भी नहीं आ रहा, सी सेम ही है, सिमिलर वे पाइथन भी सेम ही है, जावा भी सेम है। इट जस्ट द मार्केट इज ट्वीकिंग देयर प्रॉब्लम्स। So what you have to do is build your fundamentals and then you can solve the problems. So if you
Okay.
ask me that what is the biggest challenge that people will face a challenge of fear of missing out. फोमो बोलते हैं ना शायद तक आजकल लेटेस्ट ट्रेंड में, हाँ।
Right.
So that is what people will be bothering. ओ यार मुझे एमएल नहीं आएगी, मुझे अच्छी जॉब नहीं लगेगी, मुझे अगर आज एआई नहीं आया तो मेरे को अच्छा नहीं होगा, यार मुझे अगर वेब डेवलपमेंट नहीं आएगी तो ये जॉब नहीं लगेगी, मुझे अगर डीएस से नहीं आता तो मैं कोडिंग स्टार्ट ही नहीं कर सकता। Fear of missing out would be always there. Now, if you know the basics, I don't think there will be any challenge.
Okay.
Problem statement बदल रही है, वो बदलती ही रहेंगी every single day, every single company to company. So yeah.
Okay. And in addition to that, any okay, Bhumi has a question here.
Yeah.
So says, how do you stay up to date with the latest developments and trends in coding industry?
Okay. Now, one thing is, if you ask me how I stay updated with the latest developments, is one thing. Then, second, trends in coding industry, I don't stay updated because I don't belong to the coding part. Thing is, I'm a hardcore non-coder person who want to avoid coding as much as I can. I'll hire professional one or two people and will get the task done. Now, thing is, when you want to stay up to date, always start like devoting 1 hour to learn about things happening in the world. Like very simple example that I personally do is I always follow Gartner reports. So these Gartner reports are authorized and published report that what are happening in the industry. I always keep an eye what are the trending startups are doing. So reading these magazines or blogs always helps you that what exactly the industry is booming in. Like for example, this example is there. This unicorns. You know
Right.
what is the first unicorn which was there in the India? The first unicorn name is Inmobi. That is again when the trend was not there of this SEO, digital marketing, and other things. They came in that world. But
Okay.
now the people like Physics Walla, who was 101 unicorn, they are also there. So when we talk about Physics Walla, we know that they are teaching industry, but they do have a tech. Now, if I compare InMobi with Physics Walla, they both are unicorns. They both have one thing in common, that is tech. Now, this digital technology is not changed. Whosoever is good in the bringing the optimizers or anything, they will be always there. So, staying up to date is that even this industry has a potential to reach to the maximum level. So what I generally do is I keep on following these Gartner reports which publish about them, that what is this quadrant is doing. So for example, that I comes from the containers background. I love working on containers. So these reports which are published quarterly, half yearly and yearly, they always have these quadrants, that who are leaders, who are emerging leaders, who are established leaders, who are strugglers. So you have all these names, and every single quadrant, you will be able to see that, okay, what is getting changed. Okay, now Red Hat was a leader. Now IBM is a leader. Now you can see a VMware is a competitor. They are also coming out with their thing. And in the next quadrant, you can see, oh, SUSE has also launched their own platform. Oh, wonderful. Amazon also came out with their container platform. Oh, Google has also came in. Now this fight. So here you will authentically understand what is happening in the industry. Like, and for you, make it very easy, as I was trying to tell. Think of an example like Apple iPhone 14, bring 14 Pro to be specific, bring this dynamic island.
Okay.
Very simple. That the notch. Now every single phone will be also launching that up.
Okay.
So ट्रेंड वहां से बनना स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ, ट्रेंड बाद में बना.
Hmm.
So we have to understand the basics, that how that notch came in picture and who all companies are building that notch technology. क्या आपके पास वो एमोलेड ग्लास भी है या नहीं है, to bring that dynamic island in your action. Samsung came out with 100x zoom. None of the other company has come out with that 100x zoom. Getting my point? So that's the thing. So I always believe in these reports. I study these reports a lot, and that's how I do it. Yeah.
So next question is by Arindova, and I think this is like my personal question as well because I'm also working in 3D spaces.
Okay. Wonderful.
So how is open source helpful for video editors and 3D artists?
So definitely, I guess the best answer I can give you is that this metaverse is something which is trending a lot,
Right.
and this is nothing but, and a 3D artist can easily relate it to. So Facebook has invested crazily in metaverse, and that's why they were like the very first company to eliminate the biggest workforce, and they have, even Facebook has renamed them as a Meta. So thing is, when you think of the open source projects, there are almost like in upcoming 5 to 10 years, the people will be coming out with the help of these video editors and 3D artists with the open source projects, so that they can create something for them free of cost, and so that we can acquire them. The biggest example is KGF2.
Yeah.
The editor of KGF2 is also a very young person. He started just like showcasing his work on the social media, publishing it for free of cost, and the director of KGF2 hired him to do all these visual things. So again, going back to the roots, what was open source? I told you exactly, Shavi, that
Right.
it is a world where everything is freely available. So specifically for video and editors and 3D artists, when a project comes out, if you have a potential to create the video graphics that can appeal that thing, you have the job ready for you. Promotion किसको पसंद नहीं है, everybody needs it.
Mhm.
So there will be a lot of projects that are going to come, and they are already there. दो एक सैचुरेटेड मार्केट है कि एडोबे ने अपना, अगर अपना वो जमा लिया है, मैक ने अपना खुद का वो प्रो सॉफ्टवेयर अपना डाल दिया है, तो दे हैव दिस थिंग. The competitors are established, they are there, but nobody has that guts to innovate in this field. So you will be the first mover advantage, that if you bring something new. So there is this company, if I'm not wrong, there is this company called CloudWorks, Cloud,
Okay.
WORX, or something like that. So they create the 3D model of the space without coding. So they claim like they can create the 3D model just like creating a PowerPoint presentation.
Right.
So if somebody have utilized that water to create this project, right?
Right.
अपना खुद का बना लो. So I
Yes.
hope that justifies. Yeah.
Yeah. So next question we have from Bhumi again. How do you approach problem solving and troubleshooting in your work?
Nobody learned about that. So if you ask me that how I approach the problem solving, so I don't react immediately. One thing is that I always take a step back and think, what is the worst scenario that is going to happen. Think is problem is always the problems are going to be happening. Don't react immediately. Sit back and think, what is the worst thing, because now you will be understanding कि, okay, सबसे बुरा तो ये होने वाला है. Now what it can be done to avoid it? So firstly, I don't react immediately. I take time, I settle myself, and I look around. Okay, I have to solve it. No other person is there to help. If there is someone, I'll take the help immediately without any ask, and especially in my work. If that problem can be solved by me, I define the timeline. So I never overcommit the things. सर प्रॉब्लम दी है ना, 2 दिन में सॉल्व करके दे दूंगा, नहीं हुई तो गए ना काम से, तो मैं पहले ही 3 दिन बोल देता हूँ कि मुझे पता है कि 2 दिन में हो जाएगी, बट सेफर साइड के लिए 3 दिन बोल दो. Now, what is going to happen is if you solve in 2 days, you can say it to them that, I was able to crack it in 2 days. So that creates a good impression in front of them. One. Second, now you won't be क्या बोलते हैं उसको, under pressure. कि यार 2 दिन में ही करनी थी, हुई नहीं, अब 3 दिन में करनी है पर 2 दिन में हो जाएगी. So now you have that confidence in you. So this is what I do. So I always try to take step by step approach. Sit back करो, define करो, worst case scenario सबसे पहले define कर दो कि इससे बुरा तो कुछ होगा ही नहीं, अब जो भी है वो अच्छा होना है, and start working towards it step by step.
Okay.
And immediate reaction always lead to the failures, trust me. बट वो रियल वर्ल्ड में थोड़ा डिफरेंट है. मतलब किसी ने तुम्हें थप्पड़ मारा तो तुरंत थप्पड़ मार दो, बाद में तो कॉम्प्रोमाइज ही होगा. बट इफ एट ऑल इन वर्क लाइफ, टेक अ स्टेप बैक एंड सी how it can be solved. Take 10, 15, 20 seconds break. And even in the real world, when I am encountered with the problem, I don't react for at least 24 hours or 48 hours. क्योंकि 24 से 48 घंटे के बीच में, लाइक इन 1 or 2 डे, कोई उससे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम आ जाएगी तो मुझे दूसरी प्रॉब्लम छोटी लगने लग जाती है. आई एम लाइक ओके कोई बात नहीं, ये तो सबके साथ हो रहा है तो ठीक. सो दैट्स हाउ आई टेक माय लाइफ.
Okay, so now we have Kashish, a question by Kashish. So, being a first year student, we'll be asked to choose a single specialization next year. But how do I explore these specialization on my own?
हमने फर्स्ट
So,
क्वेश्चन ही ये दिया था. So, if I just have to answer, Kashish, thanks for your question. Attend these workshops, meet your seniors, like from second, third, and fourth year people. Go and interact with them, understand why they opted for this specialization. If that thinking aligned to you, you are good to select. Understand these workshops, listen to the podcast, hear the industry trends. Don't adopt the industry trend which is right now active. Choose a industry trend which is not active. Like for me, when I in 2012, when I choose Linux and cloud as a career, my entire batch was laughing at me कि क्या होगा, and I'm the only one in my entire college who is placed at Amazon. So no comments. So what I visualize at that time is nobody is talking about cloud, everybody is just talking about one thing, which is nothing but coding. तो मुझे नहीं जाना कोडिंग में, तो क्या कर सकते हैं, तो मैंने लिनक्स सर्च किया. और वो भी लिनक्स भी कैसे, इफ आई हैव टू टेल दैट स्टोरी फॉर यू कशिश, आई एक्चुअली वेंट टू अ हैकिंग वर्कशॉप. देन आई एक्चुअली वर्कड ऑन हैकिंग फॉर 6 मंथ. और वहां मुझे ये समझ में आ गया कि लाइक ये टूल से मेरा फ्यूचर तो नहीं बन सकता, क्योंकि टूल आज है कल नहीं होगा, कोई ना कोई तो इनोवेट कर ही देगा. So what I started doing is I started digging into the basics, and I understand that when this software, I execute this run button, there is a command which is running in background. For example, now what is this command? I reach to this command and understand, oh, this is a pure Linux command. So I understand that all these tools will be using this Linux command, and I started learning Linux then. Then I understood, okay, to learn the cloud, Linux is the basic thing that you should be knowing. Because if you want to create your own, विंडोज ने तो अपना कोड खोला ही नहीं है कभी, इट इज अ क्लोज सोर्स. ओपन सोर्स में लिनक्स ही है, तो लर्न अबाउट दैट, क्योंकि वो फ्रीली अवेलेबल वही था. So what I can say to you, Kashish, explore the workshop, listen to the podcast, listen to your seniors, talk to them, interact with them, go and participate in hackathons. If you are getting these workshops, seminars, attend them and then decide.
okay. So, next question we have from Bhumi again. What are the best ways to negotiate salaries and benefits during job offer stage?
I don't think that anybody is going to give you that opportunity. वो उनके माइंड में फिक्स होता है. But to be honest, if you ask me also, so what I did my research prior to applying this job. So, for example, at Amazon, when I was looking for the job role, I went to these Glassdoors, Quora, and also all the Google websites which are available, which the post I was applying for. I accumulated the complete number strength of the company that okay, 10,000 employees हैं, 1000 temps हैं, and this is the average salary which they are mentioning. Not on the top cap, I choose what I have to be there. Like for example, this is just an assumption I'm giving. Like in my previous role, if I have a package of 10 lakh, and when I open up Amazon on Glassdoor, I saw that okay, there was this cap limit of 20 lakh to 50 lakh for a technical account manager. I saw that 100% easily I'm getting. Like 20 lakh to दे ही देंगे ना starting में. But again, the worst case scenario, it can be that it will offer you a hike of 50%. But knowing my skill sets, what I demanded was approximately 200%, so that even the negotiation happen, it will be 100%. That is my job role that I'm satisfied for. So, for example, I was working at 10 lakh. I asked for 30. I settled at 20, minimum of 20, something like that. अब तुमने अगर मांगा ही 20, तो automatically it will cut down to 15, and that is your loss. But if you ask 50, that is again your loss. Somebody will, क्या कर रहा है यार, ऐसे नहीं होते. So I always search these trends on Glassdoor, Quora, and other websites. Second, I start making my connections, which I have deployed previously in my colleges and my during the visits. If I found some Amazonian, I talk to them that hey, can you give me a market cap that what this job role is offering, and then you take your best call. So I hope. And don't be like, over enthusiastic in the interviews. Trust me, oh, sir, it was my dream company. हाँ मुझे पता है. मत शो करो. ट्रस्ट मी बहुत बेकार लगता है. मतलब अगर आपको एक्साइटमेंट भी है थोड़ा कंट्रोल करो. Like for example, this is a very famous example I give. Where do you see in your 5 years, like down the line? सर मुझे तो है ना मतलब अब्रॉड जाना है. तो इंडिया में अप्लाई क्यों कर रहा? यू आर डायरेक्टली रिजेक्टेड. ये रिजेक्शंस की रीजंस होती हैं. तो अंडरस्टैंड दैट हाउ यू वांट टू कम्युनिकेट द थिंग्स. सो या.
So, as we do not have any more queries left to address, thank you, sir, for enriching our minds today. And we were very honored to have you here. Um, with this, we will be concluding our workshop. And I would like to thank all of you for being an interactive audience. And I encourage you to make the most of it. And I hope you guys take something back with you after today's workshop.
So thank you so much, Shavi, and thank you so much the entire UPS CSI chapter for inviting me and considering me that I can be a valuable guest for you. I hope I did justice to the time and the questions that were asked. One thing that I want to say, and I'm a personal believer of this part, then that don't believe in be yourself. Don't ever believe in yourself. Always try to better yourself. Means if you are at what you are, then no progress is happening. So to do the progress, always try to better yourself. And this is someone has rightly said that today a reader, tomorrow a leader. So if you have an ability to learn, to hear someone, tomorrow you will be also at the same stage where somebody will hear you and they can also clap for you. तो जो सही बोलते हैं कि if you have a courage to clap for someone, definitely one day the things will come and people will clap for you. So just want to say that thank you so much everyone for listening out quiet. Definitely it is an digital thing that we are doing. I hope to see you in person. Do reach out to me on LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram, or if you accidentally found my WhatsApp. But yeah, definitely reach out to me at any point of time. Whatever the help is needed, do let me know. So, as rightly said, in a world where you can be anything, try to be kind. So try to help each other. This is what I also live in my life. I'm here in Bangalore at Amazon. Let me know if I can be any help. And with that, I just want to say thank you so much, Shavi, especially you, to be the great host, and the entire UPS CSI student, and the entire your team for inviting me and giving this opportunity to speak in front of you. Thank you so much. The day is made for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.